A long time ago in Japan lived an artisan obsessed with his work. He would complete his orders with a high level of craftsmanship rarely seen in other artisans, and so many people paid him for his work. However, at a personal level, he was a very peculiar person. Despite being very well off economically, he didn't want to start a family or get married. All he wanted was to save as much money as possible. He was so stingy that everything he obtained through his work, he wanted to keep for himself and himself only. That went on for many years, and eventually his neighbors simply got used to the artisan being that way, and nobody expected him to ever get married. However, one fateful day, everything changed. A beautiful young woman arrived in town and dazzled everyone with her extraordinary beauty. She had never been there before, but even then, all the neighbors learned about her existence almost immediately. She had very delicate features and looked almost like a porcelain doll. Her eyes were black, just like her long hair. And after observing her for a few days, the artisan forgot about his stinginess. He tirelessly tried to court that woman until she finally paid attention to him and eventually accepted getting married to him. After the wedding, the two moved in together. At first, their relationship was idyllic. They got along pretty well, made plans together, and their home was peaceful and quiet. Moreover, the artisan was happy about how his wife ate so little. That resulted in him saving a lot in food, which was perfect. However, over time, he realized that his rice sacks were getting empty faster than usual. At first, since the artisan was so happy, he preferred to not make a big deal out of it. He thought that maybe some stray animal was responsible. However, many questions started appearing in his head. Why is it that his wife barely ate anything? Why were the rice sacks getting empty so quickly? He thought that maybe she was eating rice behind his back to not make him mad. His obsession with saving was known all over town, so that theory wasn't far off. So, to find out what was going on, one day the artisan made his wife believe that he was going out for work, but instead stayed in his house watching her from a hiding spot. A few minutes passed and he saw how she went to where he stored all the food. He followed her, staying a few steps back so she wouldn't notice his presence. There, he could see with true horror how his wife had a second mouth, located on the back of her head. How was such a thing possible? The artisan couldn't believe what his eyes were seeing. Her hair strands moved as if they were tentacles, which she used to grab huge quantities of rice to place them in that hidden mouth. She devoured many kilos of food in a few minutes. The artisan was so shocked that he couldn't move when she turned around. And when she saw him looking at her with a face filled with horror, she couldn't contain her anger and killed her husband with a single blow. This woman was a FUTAKUCHI-ONNA. Welcome to a new Scary Tuesday, TikTakers. Today, we come back to the world of Asian spirits to scare you with the story of a strange yokai, the FUTAKUCHI-ONNA, which means woman with two mouths. As her name indicates, the main peculiarity of this creature is that it has two mouths, the second one located on the back of her head, covered by hair. And it's not just any body cavity. It has lips, teeth, and a tongue. These ghosts are women affected by a curse that transforms them into yokais. And the appearance of that second mouth usually explains their lack of appetite through their main mouth. In many stories featuring this kind of yokai, the FUTAKUCHI-ONNA becomes the wife of a very stingy man. That second mouth torments the woman every day, telling her horrible things. The mouth can even shriek if it doesn't need enough food and can even produce intense pain in the woman. Her hair strands move as if they were tentacles, allowing her to put food into her second mouth. In other versions, it is said that her second mouth appears when her husband hits the back of her head with an axe. And other versions even say that a woman gets this second mouth when she doesn't feed her stepchildren, leaving them to starve to death. In that version, the spirits of those starved children transform the woman into a yokai. As you can see, TikTakers, although there are different versions of how they work, the FUTAKUCHI-ONNA are pretty curious creatures nonetheless. Because of that, they have been depicted several times in manga, shows, movies, and video games. And so, be careful. You never know if a woman you know actually has a second mouth on the back of her head. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it. And if you want to see more Draw My Life videos, subscribe to our channel. See you in the next episode!